Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammad wa ala ali sahbihi barik wa sallam wa sallu alayhi. Dear student, I am Advocate Muhammad Asif Aslam from Pakistan and you are watching our Law Educational Academy channel. All the students, especially the students of 15 countries, the student of America, Russia, England, Japan, China, Korea, France, Germany, Malaysia, Indonesia, India, Pakistan, and more than these countries, they are welcome in our universal lectures. What are called universal law lectures? Those lectures that are similar in all parts of the world, they are called universal lectures. So dear students, our Law Educational Academy channel will provide you all detailed lecture about the topic of those books that having the same topic, same syllabus in all kinds of the world and in all universities of the world. The first lecture, it is about the criminology. This lecture will provide you only the conceptual image of criminology. Inshallah, very soon we shall provide you all detail of criminology. In our this series, criminology, medical jurisprudence, international law, contract act, and other businesses or financial law, they will be the major topics of our study, the major topic of our lectures. So we are starting our lecture criminology. What is criminology? According to the Oxford Dictionary definition, study of social phenomena of crime, it is called criminology. In simple word, the study of crime, it is called criminology. So what is crime? Anything punishable by law, it is called crime. Anything prohibited by law, it is called crime. Anything forbidden by law, it is called crime, and anything abhorred by law, it is called crime. These are the major definition of crime. So the study of crime with social aspect, it is called criminology. The question is, what is the constitution of crime? How crime is created? How crime is born? So for the constitution of crime, there must be 6 elements. First one is the human being. For the constitution of crime, there must be the human being. Second element is the mens rea. Third one is called the actus rea. Fourth one is called the injury provided by that criminal act. Fifth one is called the law should be present for that particular crime. Sixth is the punishment. So all these 6 elements constitute a crime. In our present lecture, we only will discuss about mens rea and actus rea. The other 4 elements, inshallah, we shall discuss them in detail very soon. What is mens rea, students? Mens rea is the mental phenomena. It is the mental activity. It is the mental imagination. It is the mental aspect of any person. In other words, the guilty state of mind, it is called mens rea. For example, I am sitting with my wife in a hotel and a special person may be named as, it is only suppose, student, it is only the example, it is not the reality. So this particular person may be named as Zahid. So Zahid is continuously focusing at my wife and he is glamping her. So due to his that special act, the imagination, the thinking, the initial preparation for giving him a tight slap at his face, it is called the mens rea. So my thinking, my imagination to give him the tight slap at his face, it is only the imagination, it is only the mental preparation of mind, it is called the mens rea. Before the act of actus rea, before the physical preparation, before the physical movement of our body, every kind of initial preparation, further preparation, final thinking, emission, and every kinds of things that are only running in our mind for the commission of a crime, for the commission of a criminal act, it is called mens rea. So all the mens rea, they are associated with some kind of causes. In the present example, this cause is the glamping at my wife. So this cause is the initial intention. This cause is the initial factor to constitute the actus rea. So keep in your mind, every guilty state of mind, it is called mens rea. It is only the mental preparation, mental imagination, mental direction, and mental activity. That is why it cannot be read out by detecting, it cannot be detected, it cannot be predicted, and it cannot be proved by any kind of, by any knowledge of the world. For example, there is no any machine, there is no any technology to predict what is running in the mind of a person. Dear student, when mens rea and actus rea connectively connected with each other, they constitute a crime. So the question is arising in your mind, how can we predict, how can we detect the mens rea? Its simple way is, after the imagination, after the mental preparation, your physical act will constitute a crime, and this physical act and this physical actus rea or physical movement or locomotion of your body, it is the way to predict the intention of a person, to predict the mens rea. In simple word, mens rea is the mental state, mental preparation, and it cannot be read out. When this mental state is attached with a criminal act or physical movement of a body, it is called actus rea, and both mens rea and actus rea collectively constitute a crime. For example, the imagination to give him the tied slap, it is the mens rea of my mind, it cannot be read out. But I am going toward that person to giving him the tied slap, my movement toward that person, it is called the actus rea. But it is the initial preparation. It is the initial preparation. Every preparation, every locomotion, every movement of my body before giving him this slap, it is called the initial preparation. And keep in your mind that initial preparation in itself is not a crime. Keep in your mind, initial preparation of actus rea is not a crime. But in some cases, there is also some exceptions. For example, collection of armed weapons to wage war in a country. So it is only the preparation, initial preparation to collect the arms, but it is a crime. Second one, preparation for robbery, it is called crime. Physical touch at the private part of opposite sex, it is a crime. So only the touch before the commission of rape, it is crime. So in this portion we have discussed what is criminology, the study of social phenomena of crime, it is called criminology. What is crime? Everything punishable by law, everything prohibited by law, everything forbidden by law, everything abhorred by law, it is called crime. For the constitution of a crime, there must be 6 elements. First one is the human being, second one is the mens rea, other one is the actus rea, fourth one is the injury, next one is the law, and last one is the punishment provided by that law of the state. What is mens rea? The guilty state of mind is called mens rea. It is the only mental activity, mental state, mental thinking, mental imagination. It cannot be read out. It cannot be predicted. But the question, how can we read out? How can we predict it? The simple way is the study or experience of actus rea. The physical body movement associated with mens rea, when both mens rea and actus rea they are connectively connected with each other, they constitute a crime. So only the initial preparation, it is not a crime in itself. For example, my movement toward that person to giving him a slap, my locomotion, my movement toward that person, this movement, this locomotion in itself is not a crime. The act of slap, it is called a crime, but there are some exceptions. The three examples are mentioned at your whiteboard. First exception is the collection of armed weapons to wage war in a country. This only the preparation is the crime. Second one, the preparation for dacoity, preparation for robbery is a crime. Physical touch at the private part of the opposite sex before the commission of rape, it is crime. The next topic is student, attempt to commit a crime, only the attempt. For example, attempt to murder, attempt to rape, attempt to dacoity, only the attempt. It is not a fully crime, it is the half crime. That is why half punishment or any part of punishment are provided by lawgiver of that country for the attempt of a crime. So attempt to commit a crime, it is not fully defined a crime, it is not a fully crime. Mostly half punishment or some part of punishment are provided by lawgiver for the attempt to commit a crime. So only attempt is not a full crime, mostly the half punishment is provided by law for attempt of a particular crime. Crime committed, when crime has been committed, when rape has been committed, when murder has been committed, when robbery has been committed, after the commission of a crime, it is called full crime, and that is why the full kind of punishment is provided by law of that state. The next topic is causes behind the crime. What are causes behind the crime? It is very important, student. There are 5 causes behind the crime. First one is called the medical causes, next is the social causes, other is the emotional causes, next one is the gender and crime, fifth one is the metaphysical aspects. First of all, the medical causes. In medical causes, first one cause is the genetical cause. Genetical causes are those causes which are by birth associated with a particular person to force him to commit a crime. In simple word, some persons are suffered by genetical disease, genetical disorders, and that is why this genetical disorder, they are involved in different kind of criminal activity or criminal kind of behavior. Other is the hormonal, due to some special causes. For example, in the present example, the person is glimping at my wife and my act of slap, his act of glimping, this is the cause, and due to this cause some hormonal or some chemical actions, some chemical reactions are produced in my body to force me to give him a tight slap. So this is called the hormonal or chemical medical causes behind a crime. Last is called the damages. Damages, especially at the different part of our brain, it is called the another cause to constitute a crime or the cause behind the crime. So medical causes are divided into genetical, hormonal and damage stages. The next one is called the social causes behind the crime. What is called the social causes? Social causes are those causes which are associate with a person specially provided by that society of that particular community. For example, a person is living in a poor country. The poverty is the main social cause that is running behind every kind of crime. According to World Report, keep in your mind 75% of crimes are associated with poverty. So in poor countries, the ratio of crime is very high. The next is the need. In some cases, the need also pressurize a person to commit a crime. For example, in my example, the person is focusing at my wife, gripping at my wife. This is the need of the time to give him a slap. So in some cases, the need also become the cause behind a crime. Other one is the pressure. Pressure is also a big factor behind a crime. For example, a person may be named as XYZ. He has kidnapped my child and abducted my family. And he is pressurizing me to commit the crime or to commit the murder of a person named XYZ or ABC. So this pressure is also the cause behind a crime. So when a person is pressurized due to any kind of physical, mental or any kind of pressurized element, so it becomes the cause of social cause behind a crime. Next, third one is the emotional. Dear student, love is the major motive. Love is the major trigger that pressurize a person to commit a crime. Inshallah, we shall discuss it in detail very soon. So emotional attachment, emotional love angle, mostly in love triangles. So it will pressurize a person or force a person to commit a crime. Abhorration. It is called the extreme stage of hateness. In simple word, I hate you. So extreme stage of hateness, it is called abhorration. So abhorration is also involved in the emotional activity, is also associated with the emotional causes behind the crime. Suspicion. Any kind of suspect, especially in love triangle, especially in honor killings, honor murders. Suspect is also the trigger. Suspicion is also the element. It is also a weapon to constitute a crime, to commit a crime. Ego. Ego is also associated with our crime. Mostly the financial crimes are linked with ego. In financial, for example, commercial cases, in commercial industrial cases, in industrial competitions, most of the persons are involved in crime, and this kind of crime that is associated with the upper class of people, it is called the white collar crime. We shall inshallah discuss them in detail. Rejection. It is also very important, student. Rejection is the main factor that play a very important role to born, to constitute, to synthesize the criminal day by day with a great ratio. What is rejection? The rejection by the part of a parents, the rejection by the part of the teachers, the rejection by the part of the society. When we reject our children, when we reject our brothers, sisters, or social member, this rejection will play a very vital role to synthesize, to produce, to born the criminal minded person. It is very important, inshallah. We shall discuss them in detail. Fourth one is the gender and crime. It is also observed that some special kind of crime is linked with some special gender. For example, some special crime is more common in male as compared to in female. and some kind of crime is more common in female as compared to male and vice versa. So gender and crime is also linked and also the cause behind a crime. It is very interesting, student, but it is not a fact. It is only the established theory. Metaphysical aspects. Some metaphysical aspects are also involved in the commission of crime. For example, it has been observed that lunar cycle, moon dates, moon cycle at especially at the 14th date of moon, it has been observed that the crime ratio is increased especially at the date of 14 date of moon or 14 lunar date, but it is only the established theory. It is not a medical or it is not a scientific fact. And other metaphysical activities, metaphysical aspects are also involved in the commission of crime. So we have discussed in this portion attempt to commit a crime. Only the attempt is not a complete crime. That is why most of the half punishment or part of punishment is provided by lawgiver to that attempt to commit a crime. Full commission of crime or crime committed, it is called the fully defined crime, and that is why full punishment is provided for that commission of particular crime. Causes behind crime, we have discussed 5 causes. First one is called the genital. Medical causes, first one is the genital, hormonal and damages. Next is the social, in which poverty, need, pressure is involved. Third is emotional. Love is the major factor. Abhorration, suspicion, ego and rejection. Rejection may be social, it may be family, it may be educational, it may be love, it may be any kinds of rejection involved in the synthesis, involved in the production, involved in the born of criminal minded person, criminal societies. That is why we should always be careful for our children, especially at the age of 3 years. We shall discuss in this portion. Next is called the gender and crime. Some special kinds of crime are associated with male and some are associated with females. Last is called the metaphysical aspect. It is not the established aspect, it is not the established fact of medical, it is not the established fact of science, but it is only the organized theory that lunar cycle is involved in the commission of crime, especially at the 14 lunar date. The ratio of crime has been experienced that it is at its climax, peak and climax ratio. In this portion, students, jurist classification. 2 great jurists, Lombroso and Ferry, they have classified the criminals. Lombroso says that some person are criminals by born, they are criminal by birth. Second, he says that some person are insane criminal, they are mad person, they are insane person, they are fool person, they having no any sense, they having no any manner to live in a society peacefully, they are insane kind of person and commit crime. Next is called the criminal aids. Some kinds of aids are also involved in the commission of crime, in the preparation of or in the born of criminals. For example, when financial help is provided to the criminals, they are more frequent, they are more energetic to commit crime. Fourth one is the occasional crime. Lombroso says that some special occasions also produce some kind of crime. For example, in religious or national festivals, for example in Pakistan, Eid, in Ramzan Sharif and other kinds of festivals, the criminal ratio is increased and criminal ratio is attached for that particular occasion. In simple word, occasions have their special criminal activities and special criminal and special crimes. Ferry. Ferry is the most genius person, and he also provided three kind of only the same: born criminal, insane criminal, occasional criminal. But he also gave the idea of habitual crime and criminal by passion. He says that some kinds of criminals are habitual by their nature. They having the habit to commit crime. They cannot live in society peacefully. They always thinks how can we commit crime, and what are the main ways, simple ways, easy ways to commit crime. So they are habitual criminals. Next is called the criminal by passion. Some people are passionate by their genetically, their socially, their emotionally, their any kind of factors. They are by passion criminal in nature. For example, a person having the passion to commit a rape, it is a criminal by passion. A criminal having passion to commit murder, for example serial killers, they are called the criminal by passion. The serial killer is the best example. Recent research, this topic is very important, student. It has been observed that our child, especially in the age of 3 years, keep in your mind carefully, our child especially in the age of 3 years, he having the sense to detect, to predict, to adopt the criminal behavior, the criminal activity, the criminal mind, the criminal passion and criminal behavior. So that is why we should be careful for our children, especially at the age of 3. It has been proved. It is a medical fact. It is a scientific fact, not a theory. It is a fact that at the age of 3, the starting point of criminal behavior is start at the age of 3 years, and it get its climax peak and position at juvenile age. What is juvenile age? Especially the teenage persons. It may be male or female. Teenage person get their climax points, get their climax stage, get their climax epic to commit crime. So children at the age of 3 can adopt the criminal behavior, criminal mind, criminal activity, criminal sensations, and this criminal mind get its climax peak at juvenile or teenage stages. Main reason in juvenile crime, it's mean why teenage person commit crime. First is called the genital aspect. We have discussed in that portion. Next is the gender. We have discussed there. Other is the social environment. Social environment play a very vital and important role to synthesize the product of criminals. For example, this is the product of a whiteboard marker. Social environment produce such kinds of social product in the shape of criminal. So in simple word, social environment is the factor to produce the criminal minded person. Other is the parents, teachers rejection. It should be keep in your mind that the children, especially at teen ages, they needs our special attention, especially by the part of parents, by the part of teachers, by the part of family, by the part of society. So we must be careful for their attention. We should avoid all kinds of rejection. So these rejection involved in the constitution of crime, in the production of criminals. Food factors, some food factors is also observed. They having a important and vital role to synthesize that kinds of chemical or hormone that pressurize or initiate a person to commit a crime. In simple word, some kinds of foods are also involved to produce some kinds of chemical in the body of a person to commit a crime. Next is called the environmental factor. Environmental factor, for example, rape is more common in hot countries as compared to in cold countries. So environmental or geographical position or geographical aspects are also involved in the reason of juvenile crime. Other is the social media factor. It is very important, student. Social media today is playing a burning role. It is playing the alarming role. It is playing the destroyer's role, disaster role in our country, in our world, even in the rural area of the world. Every person, it may be of every kind of age, it may be of every kind of gender, it may be of every kind of or every type of family, they having the approach toward social media. The smartphone is the best example. It is the best approach toward social media, and social media providing the material, raw material, especially the raw material. Social media providing the raw material to produce the criminal minded person. And that is why social media pressurize or enforce them for the adaptation habit. Some people, by using the social media, they become the killer, some become the murderer, some become the rapist, some become the kidnappers, and so on and so forth. The last one is the geographical timeline range. Student, keep in your mind, crime definition different in world. It is keep in your mind, crime is not the established fact, crime having not the same or established definition in all the part of the world. Especially the best example is that shaking hand between male and female, shaking hand between opposite sex, it is a crime in Pakistan as well as in Muslim countries. But contrary to it, shaking a hand between male and female, it is the socialized civil behavior in the Western countries, especially in America, Canada, Russia, so on and so forth. So it's mean crime is different in different part of the world. Some act is a crime in a country. For example, the shaking hand between male and female, it is a crime in Pakistan, but it is a civilized behavior in America. Timeline variation of definition. It is also observed, and it is also very interesting to note that in different time, different kinds of activities are not crime, but with the passage of time they become crime. For example, in Pakistan, the preparation for the group, the preparation for different kinds of committees, different kinds of social parties, different kinds of religious parties, they were not crime. But due to the present situation in Pakistan, some kinds of religious parties, they are involved in anti-social activity, and that is why the preparation of that religious party, they become crime. In simple word, one thing is not crime in that age, it may be a crime in the next future. Global established defined crime. Dear students, these are those crimes that are globally established as crime. They are definitely crime in all part of the world. For example, murder, rape, theft, fraud, mischiefs. I have put a star at rape. Rape having the controversial topic, In simple word, it can be say in Western country when both partners are ready to mate a copulate behavior, to copulate with each other, it is not called a crime. It's because both person are ready and the consent of both person give them a chance to copulate with each other. In other simple word, it can be said in Western country when both person are ready to copulate with each other, it is not a rape. But in Pakistan, especially in Islamic world and in Islamic country, without marriage, every kind of sexual activity, every kind of sexual relation or copulation, it is rape, it is crime, it is religious, moral, and legal. All aspects, they say that it is the major sin and major crime. It is the last our topic, global crime ratio. Student, it has been observed that increasing frequently. It has been observed, it is the very sad fact, but it is the established fact. It is the reality of our world that crime ratio is increasing day by day. Instead of our modern technology, instead of our modern education or information, we having the dark side of a picture that increasing frequently day by day, crime is increasing day by day, and it has been estimated that very soon it will get its climax position. So there is need to modify our law as soon as possible. Most alarming sexual crime and financial crime, it also very important, and inshallah we shall give its lecture very soon in detail, that sexual crime and financial crime are increasing day by day. So it was our lecture. It is only the conceptual aspect, concept of criminology. It is not a detailed lecture. Inshallah we shall give them the detailed lecture about criminology, medical jurisprudence, and other topics of law, other books of law. Thanks for watching our Law Educational Academy channel. Keep us remembering your prayers. Allah Hafiz.